When my wife told me she was going away for a week, I was caught off guard. She explained that her friends had suggested giving me space so I could recognize how much I relied on her. I couldn't understand the point of such a test, but her expression was serious, almost as if she was determined to prove something. I stayed silent to avoid escalating the situation, though inside, I felt offended that she thought I needed to be taught a lesson. The day after she left, the house felt oddly quiet. I braced myself for loneliness, but instead I felt an unexpected sense of relief. I cooked my own meals, handled small tasks I'd been putting off, and enjoyed the calm atmosphere. The quiet wasn't empty, it was peaceful. For the first time, I realized how often I'd been tiptoeing around her endless complaints. By the third day, it became clear how much lighter and more productive my life was without her around. I came home from work, made dinner, watched TV, and slept without stress. There was no nagging, no pointless arguments, no late-night errands I was pressured into running. What she thought would be a wake-up call for me was actually opening my eyes to how unbalanced our marriage had become. On the fourth day, her friends started messaging me, asking if I missed her yet and whether I had learned to value her more. Their words carried a mocking tone, as if they expected me to beg for her return. That's when it struck me. This wasn't about fixing our marriage. This was about control. They wanted me to appear weak, dependent, and desperate. Instead of playing into their game, I took another path. I contacted a lawyer to ask about separation. I had never seriously considered it before, but after just a few days, I realized our relationship had turned into something built on manipulation rather than love. I had given her my all, yet her friends had convinced her that I still needed to be put in my place. On the fifth day, I called my wife. She answered with a smug tone, clearly expecting an apology. But instead, I told her calmly that if her goal was to teach me a lesson, she had succeeded, just not in the way she expected. What I learned was that I didn't need her in order to live peacefully and happily. Her silence on the other end spoke volumes. She tried to dismiss my words, saying I was just upset and that we'd laugh about this later. But I wasn't angry. I was clear and certain. I told her I was already speaking with a lawyer about separation. Her confidence crumbled immediately. She began begging me to reconsider, insisting it was all her friend's idea and that she never wanted things to go this far. Over the next few days, she flooded me with apologies and promises to cut ties with those toxic influences. But something inside me had shifted. I could no longer see her the same way. The fact that she allowed her friends to dictate how she treated me showed me exactly where her priorities were. By the time she came back at the end of the week, I had already packed some of her belongings. I told her that love should never come with tests or manipulation, that marriage is meant to be a partnership, not a power struggle. Her tears didn't sway me this time. I had just spent a week experiencing how calm and fulfilling life could be without her chaos. She pleaded for another chance, but I knew it was too late. Once trust and respect are broken, they're almost impossible to rebuild. I wasn't ending things because she had left. I was ending things because her presence had become more damaging than her absence. Her friends never imagined their scheme would collapse like this. They expected me to come crawling back, but instead, I stood taller than ever. My wife realized too late that when you push someone away to test them, you might end up teaching them how to live without you. What was meant to be a lesson for me became the final chapter of our marriage. I didn't just discover that I could live without her, I discovered that I was far better off without her.